Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. My name is Bhaskar Jogi. I have almost 23 years of experience in the IT industry. I trained, thousands of people all over the world. I had usually conduct, corporate trainings initially, and after that we have a classroom trainings in Hyderabad. Now we don't have any classroom trainings, completely into online trainings and marketing we are doing. And so if you have any doubts or any concerns, you can write a mail to me directly. So today is the demo part number 2. In this, we're going to understand completely technical things. So yesterday we spoke on only general things, and today we'll talk about technical things. And so the next class will be on day after tomorrow. Tomorrow, no class. Monday, we'll have the final demo. And today, we're going to be, talking about, part 2 demo of Power BI. Okay, guys. And in this, so let me talk about yesterday, we spoken about what is data analytics and what is data science. Data analytics means understanding the past, and data science means predict the future. Both of them are the hot technologies, but it's very, very important that if you want to get into IT industry, you have to have compulsorily SQL knowledge. Without that, you will not be able to get into any technology in this world, right? Especially if you want to work for the IT industry, right? So if you have the data, so you need to store the data and retrieve the data. For that, we have there's a concept of SQL, structured query language, or concept of DBMS or RDBMS. It is going to be talking about how to store the data, how to retrieve the data. So IT industry means information technology. So information, if you wanted to derive, definitely you need to have the raw data. So raw data, if you have it, IT industry is going to be storing or the storing and retrieving the data with the help of these technologies or these tools. And after that, IT industry is going to be processing the data. Clear. But the thing is that what kind of a data you have, what is the size of the data that you have. So before that, one of the journalists in US asked, what do you mean by data? So to Microsoft, one of the journalists in US asked to the Microsoft, what is the meaning of data? So Microsoft says data is currency today. That's what they said. Data is currency today. So data is next generation fuel. That's what they said. And Amazon is selling some products to you so that they can get some kind of a profits. But Google is not selling any products to you directly, or WhatsApp is not selling any products to you directly, or Instagram, or Facebook. They're not selling any products. But how come they're very, very rich in this world? Because they have your data. Clear? So any companies having a data, they're very, very rich, and the data itself is a currency today. That's what you need to understand. And the same question asked to Google, what is the data? Google says data is everything today. Whatever you think of, that is because of data. You want to think about, driverless cars. You wanted to think about, automation, robot technologies, or, machine learning or driverless cars. Whatever you think of today, IoT, or, whatever you think of today is completely because of data, data, data. But the thing is that what is the size of the data that the company has? That's what is very, very important, right? You may have data, I may have data. So what is the size of the data that the company has? So I'm talking about my company. I'm regularly getting MBs of data. For example, every month I get 1,000 or 2,000 inquiries about my courses. Okay. So people will be, calling us and asking, do you have Java course? Do you have SQL course? Do you have a Power BI course? All the data my company is going to be storing in Excel sheet. All the data my company is going to be storing in the Excel sheet. Let me show you some sample data, how we are going to, store our data. Let me just go back. And this is what is called students inquiries data. So whenever you call us, we're going to be maintaining a serial number, a name of the student, and what is the course he or she required, and gender, and date of inquiry, phone number, and your email IDs we're going to be capturing. And in case you have joined the course. So what normally you do, you attend the demo classes. If you're interested, you'll be making the payment, and the same details also we are capturing in the Excel sheet. You made some $100 or $200 or 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, you make the payment. So when is that you inquired 20th of February, and you have joined the course in the 25th of February. So like that, we have some data. So all the data my company sales guys are going to be storing where in Excel. So once in a month we get the 1,000 inquiries. And remember, so once we got the data, normally after end of the month, we are going to be processing the data and creating a report. Who's going to be doing? Probably people who know Excel in my company. They will be taking this data. So I wanted to see the reports. What kind of reports we have it? So every month we get 1,000 records. All the data we can accommodate in the Excel. 1 year data will be 12,000 or 15,000 rows, approximately 5 MB of data, 10 MB of data per annum. So that is the size of the data I'm talking about. We store the data and we create a lot of reports by processing. What kind of a reports? So we create one more page. The page is called a reports page. In that, my team is going to be creating a beautiful reports. Clear? So what kind of report they create? Number of inquiries in 2021 for each course month wise, how many inquiries we have received it. They'll go here, they use some Excel techniques, they apply some kind of a filters here, and manually what they do, they're going to be simply filtering the data, and they will be counting how many people have asked for MSBI, or how many people asked for the Power BI 1 2. So these numbers they'll count 1 2, that number is going to be added there. So for Power BI 1,700 people have inquired, for MSBI 1,200 people have inquired, for SQL 1,230 people have inquired. Like that, you will be able to do some kind of a counting operation, and you create a small report. So report means what? Show the data in the table format. That is what is called a report. Show the summary. This is also a data. This is also data, but it is not a summary. It is a raw data, or it is a detailed data. You don't understand how many inquiries you got it for Power BI. You don't know how many inquiries you got it for Java. So you don't know many things about it. All the data is mixed together. Using this, you create a report, or you can say this is what is called a summary. So that you're going to be creating. Using this summary, anyone can understand. Okay, for January month 1,700, February month the number of inquiries got increased. So you will be able to understand by comparing. Okay, whether the growth is there or you're losing the business. So that is what, by doing a comparison, by taking the data, by creating a summary, anyone can, for example, my sales manager in my company, they will be able to understand there is a good growth. Like that, this is one report you create. Report means what? And create the table, show the summary in the table, right? So instead of showing the data in the report, I can also create a beautiful visualization. I take this data, I wanted to click on insert. I go, there is a column. I click on this. I simply click on this. Automatically, I can show the data in the visual format. Right. So report means what? Report means show the data in the table format. That is what is called a report. What kind of a data? Not the detailed data, summary data I'm talking about. Clear. I'm talking about this is the detailed data every month my company is getting. But when you see the data, you don't understand the data. You need to convert this data into information. Clear. So normally what we do, we create a summary and we do the manual calculation. We do the processing of the data and we create a report. So creating a report means showing the data in the table format. But instead of showing the data in the table format, I can also show the data in the visual format. I can create a lot of visualizations. How to do that? So you can, get this data. I'm just taking 1 month data and go to insert. And when you click on this, you will be able to see the same data in the visual format. This is what is called reporting and visualization. So end of the day, you don't understand anything in the raw data or the daily data. But if you wanted to understand, convert this data into either summary like this, or you have to create this kind of a visualizations. Clear? So this is what my company is going to be doing regularly, and these reports are going to be submitted to my boss or whoever is the in charge of this company. So we have CEO, CFO, or board of directors, or the chairman, the the managers of the company. So all these people will be asking about this kind of a reports regularly, and someone who knows about Excel. Excel is the beautiful reporting tool. Excel is the beautiful reporting tool. When you compare with the Power BI or Tableau or SSRS or Lunar, so if you're talking about some reporting tool, Excel is the number one reporting tool. But only the problem is if you have a less amount of data, it is very, very good. And the second problem is that many things you cannot automate it, so you have to do it manually. But Excel is a number one reporting tool where you can store the data and you can also create a summary. This summary is called as a reports, or nowadays it is called as a dashboard. Clear? So end of the day, by seeing the data, you will be able to understand which course the number of inquiries are less or the sales is less. That you can see in in the Python. So the who's the course where you get more and more inquiries and more revenue, that is Power BI. The company people will understand this data. They have to take the decision why Python course is not increasing at all, why the revenue is not there for the Python. So probably the faculty is not so good, or it could be something else. So they need to understand why the sales is less for the Python course. Clear? Who's going to be analyzing this data? Not you. You are going to be creating a report, and this report will be given to the management of the company. The management have to take the decision to improve their business, is called as a business intelligence. Clear? So end of the day, you take the business data. As a Power BI developer, I'm now using Excel and create this kind of a reports, right? So, but when you have a large amount of data, you cannot use Excel. You have to switch your technology from Excel to Power BI or a Tableau or something else. You have to use relevant tools and sophisticated tools to convert your raw data into meaningful data, and you can create a lot of reports and visualizations, and these visualizations need to be submitted to the decision makers in the company, probably the board of directors or CEO of the company. So they will be analyzing this data. You don't analyze your data, you're a creator of the report. So always you take the data, you are going to be creating this kind of a beautiful reports or the visualizations, and these reports are going to be given to the company. Clear? So that is what we are going to be doing in the data analytics, or this is what is called business intelligence. That is what we're going to be doing. So when you have a less amount of data, we are going to be creating a lot of reports. We're going to be processing the data, create a lot of summaries, dashboards, reports, and visualizations, and all the data analytics can be done within Excel itself. Excel can be used to store your data, to process your data. But as I told you, Excel has a limitation. Excel has a limitation. It can store only limited data, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, or 1 lakh data it can store, but not huge amount of data. So it cannot store and you will not be able to create a reports with the help of that. So when you have a large amount of data, think about Amazon company or State Bank of India, they will be able to get every day GBs of data daily, 50 GB, 100 GB every month. For example, they are getting lakhs of data, millions of data every month. The company is getting it. So can I store all this data in Excel sheet? The answer is no, right? So you can store the data in Excel when you have the small amount of data, probably megabytes of data. When you have a large amount of data, probably GBs of data, 500 GB of data I have end of the month. So the data companies are going to be storing in database management system. It is also called as SQL, or it is also called as relational database management system, or the tools. Only to store the data, you have to use this kind of a tools. Clear? But who's going to be processing this kind of a data? For the processing purpose, the companies are going to be using a language here. I have a large amount of data in this. So to process the data, normally we use C, C++, Java, .NET. So when you have a large amount of data, I open Amazon.com now. Guys, people who have joined today, they have to fill this form, guys. If you're doing, joining, first time means you need to fill the form. So mention your details over there, click on subscribe, and this form is available in your chart window. So I'll be copying and pasting the form. This is mandatory to get the daily recorded videos, and free discount also will be given when you attend the demo, right? So make sure that you mention your details and send it to me. So I have given this form in the chat window. People have done it already yesterday. Please don't do that. Okay. People, join first time, they need to do it. And I wanted to go and look for Amazon.com. I wanted to buy some products. Whenever you click on Amazon.com, so you will be able to see lot of products. I wanted to buy laptop for from the Lenovo brand. I wanted to buy this. I have to verify what kind of a laptop I need to have. We need one laptop, right? The configuration, as I told you, we need to have any processor, i3, i4, i5, any processor is fine, but minimum 4 GB RAM is required. Here we have 8 GB, minimum 256 GB SSD means hard disk is needed. That is fine. And minimum Windows 10 or Windows 11 is needed. Windows 7, if you have it, it is not going to work. You need to upgrade to Windows 10 or later, right? So this is the laptop you can buy. So whenever I wanted to buy this, so what normally I do, I click on this, and whenever I make the payment, my payment details and my credit card details and everything, my address, my phone number, everything will be captured by this website. So this website may be created using a language called Java or a .NET or maybe Android app, or it could be Angular JS, or it may be SAP XYZ. So all this data will be going and getting stored, where all the data has to be stored in SQL only. Remember, even though this website is created using some language, Java, .NET, Angular JS, XYZ, we don't know, but Amazon data is not going to be stored in this website. That is what we have to know. Internally, all the data of Amazon is going to be stored in there is a SQL database. We spoken yesterday. It may be Oracle database the company may be using, or Microsoft SQL Server. Microsoft RDBMS software name is called SQL Server. So SQL and SQL Server, both of them are not same. SQL is a generic name. So it is also SQL software. It is also SQL software. So they have taken the same name and they have given this name. So it does not mean that this and this is both of them are not same. It is a software. It is a generic word. Clear? When you learn Oracle, you can say, I know SQL. When you learn SQL Server, that time also you can say, I know SQL, because all these technologies where we are going to be using a SQL language, you will be talking about what is SQL, what is SQL Server, and what is Oracle clearly in the your SQL concepts. So you have to learn SQL Server knowledge, right? So for that, I told you yesterday you need to buy the videos and practice because Power BI is not so. Power BI is alone is not enough. You have to learn the knowledge about SQL. In that, I have clearly spoken about what is SQL or SQL and what is SQL Server. And now also I'm telling SQL is a language or SQL is a concept that can be used to store your data, right? So Oracle is the one software where you can store the data, or SQL Server is one more software. Like that, Amazon.com may be using any one of these tools. DB2 from IBM company, they may use this, or right? So you may have a lot of softwares, RDBMS softwares we can use DB2. Netezza is also from IBM company software, or Teradata, or you can go in for MySQL. This is a freeware. It is available for the free. Anybody can download and use it. Small companies, they cannot buy Oracle software. They cannot buy SQL Server software. Those companies can download MySQL, and you will be able to use this, but it cannot accommodate large amount of data. So like State Bank of India or Amazon.com, LIC, they're having large amount of data. All these companies are going to be using paid softwares to store their data. So when you have the data, if you wanted to store the data, SQL or RDBMS is going to be stored. If you wanted to process and create some kind of a report, you may use a language called C, C++, Java, .NET. So that is how the Java and RDBMS is going to be interacting. And if you wanted to process the data, we create some application with C, C++, Android, Java. We can create some kind of a reports and everything there. That is what when you have a this much of a data, right? But the data every month you're getting 500 GB of data. You think every month you're getting 500 GB of data into 12 months data. So how much it will be? It will be 500 into 12, 6, 1000 GB, right? It is approximately 6 terabytes of data per year I'm talking about. So Amazon company maybe wanted to store 10 years of data. 1 year data itself is 6 terabytes. Now 6 terabytes into, we're talking about 10 years of data, approximately 60 terabytes of data the company wanted to store. It may be 10, 20, 30 years of data. So all the data now is available in the terabytes. So the question is, when the data becomes terabytes of data, when the data is terabytes of data, normal SQL and RDBMS is going to be failing to store the data. So that is where we are going to be using a technology called data warehouse servers. Clear? When the data is available in the terabytes, you should not store the data in the normal database systems, normal Oracle, normal SQL Server. You will not be able to store the data. You are going to be storing the data in one more technology, data warehousing server. Data warehouse is a one more technology where it can accommodate terabytes of data of the company. But when you have this much of a data, you will not be able to use a language to process the data. Then many companies have introduced so what are called as BA technologies or BA tools, right? So you can also use a C++, Java, .NET to process the data. But when you have more and more data, you have to write a lot of coding. So that is where the development time will be more, and people have to increase the budget, right? Code will be more, time will be more, budget will be more. And to reduce all of them, the IT companies have introduced one more tool called BA tools, and lot of BA tools have been introduced into the market in order to analyze this kind of a data or process this kind of a data. Clear? So end of the day, I wanted to create a lot of reports or the summary or the dashboard about my sales. I have lost 10 years of data in the company data warehouse, in the company's data warehouse. You have to create a lot of reports monthly, monthly wise, yearly wise. Last 5 years Ramzan sales, last 5 years Diwali sales, last 5 years sales of in India, or all over all countries all over the world, like that. Lot of reports you wanted to create and create the summary. And you need to have easy tool, no coding tool, and less time, less budget, less time, I should be able to create a powerful report. That is the reason why many people have stopped using languages. So IT companies have invented lot of BI tools, business intelligence tools, where you need not write any programming, you need not code anything. And because we are getting so much of a data, normal SQL, normal Oracle, normal DB2 cannot accommodate. We need to have one more computer, that is called a data warehouse. You should not write a data space house, or you should not write data space house. It is not the right thing. So data warehouse is a single word. So how data warehouse computers have been created. So if you wanted to create a data warehouse, you have to buy large hardware first. You have to buy large hardware. Large hardware means what is the laptop size I told you. So if you wanted to buy a laptop for this course, without laptop we cannot run the course. I told you, you can buy any processor, but don't buy Celeron processor. That's what I told you in yesterday's class, and today also, just now I told you. And minimum 4 GB of RAM or more you can also have, and minimum 256 GB of hard disk SSD is needed. That is what I told you. It is a small laptop configuration. In this laptop, if you install SQL Server, or if you install Oracle, it is a Oracle computer or a SQL Server computer, where you can have the maximum data. How much data you can have in this? 256 GB. Or if you can extend the data to 1 GB, 1 terabyte of hard disk. So what is the maximum data you can store? 1 terabyte of data. But we are talking about 60 terabytes of data I wanted to store in a single computer. So the laptop configuration is not so important. It is not sufficient. We have to buy the bigger hardware. This is, if you wanted to practice, you can buy this kind of an hardware. You can install SQL Server and Power BI. You can use this machine. But if I wanted to buy large hardware, means the hardware should have 100 terabyte of hard disk and a minimum 1000 GB of RAM I need to have, and not only one processor, I need to have at least 100 processes should run, and it is very big machine. I need to buy it. Clear? And this is the hard disk size I'm talking about, HDD, and this is the capacity in this machine. When you install SQL Server or Oracle or Netezza or Teradata, MySQL you cannot install because MySQL is very small. Companies, smaller companies, micro level companies can use. So you can go in for Oracle, SQL Server, Netezza, Teradata. When you install in this hardware, so this machine is called as, you can install again SQL. SQL means any RDBMS. Okay. So this kind of a machine is called as a data warehousing machine. Clear? So data warehousing is also one more RDBMS, one more SQL only. That is what you got to understand. Okay, so what is a data warehouse? Layman terminology, data warehouse is nothing but a bigger machine, bigger hardware, where same SQL is running. If I SQL means, you need to talk about either Oracle or SQL Server or DB2, Netezza, Teradata. We cannot install MySQL for the data warehousing applications. So as a layman, what you need to understand ante, it is a large hardware where you can accommodate terabytes of data, And so in order to store terabytes of data, you need to have a large hardware, but the software wise, you have to install any database management software, any DBMS you can have or RDBMS you can have. So this is what is called data warehousing. So where the data warehouse is available, all these machines are available in the data centers. Clear? Many companies are going to be maintaining a lot of data centers. So all this data of the Amazon.com will be available in the data warehousing machines, and data warehouse is available in the data center. When you go to Google and when you see data centers, so a lot of data centers, many companies are using, right? So these are the lot of machines. It may be a SAP a data center or a data warehousing data center, lot of machines where you will have. So this is a bigger machine, right? So this may be one data warehousing server, okay, or this may be one more data warehousing server. Lot of data warehousing servers may be available in a single data center. So these are, so one company, it may be Amazon may be using, so State Bank of India may be using, like that. So each data warehousing may be used by the Walmart company, DMart company. Every company will have a data warehousing servers, to store their data. All these bigger machines are available in your data centers. Clear? The data centers are going to be maintained by your IT companies only. Your admin people, DBA people are going to be maintaining. So forget about all of them. But you need to understand, if you have a small amount of data, Excel is the number one tool. When you have a GBs of data, probably you can use a smaller hardware, not very big hardware, where you can install Oracle and everything. You can store the data, because every month I'm getting only 500 GB of data, not more than that. So I can have 1 TB of hard disk. I can store the data. After 1 month, what normally companies are going to be doing, they're taking the data from these machines and they're going to be dumping the data into the data warehousing machines. So every month you will get 500 GB of data from this machine, and once the data is over, that data will get dumped to the data warehousing machine, and this machine will be empty. So I'll be talking about that in later classes, and we are going to be performing ETL operations and taking the data from these machines, and we are going to be dumping the data into the data warehousing machines. So how we'll be seeing, but when you have this kind of a data, the data warehousing, if you wanted to process the data, this is where we are going to be using a lot of BA tools, SAP BA tools and SAS BA tools and OBA, Oracle BA. Then we have a Microsoft MS BA. Then we have a Tableau, right? Lot of tools are available in the market. Tableau BA. Then today we have a Power BI. Today we have a Power BI. Lot of tools have been introduced into the market. So SQL RDBMS is introduced in 1970s in the IT industry. So it is not the new technology. When the Charles Babbage invented a computer in 1920, the computer got invented. 1940, a language called A language is processed or invented. In 1950, there is a language called B got invented. 1960 is the language called C language is invented. Now it has become so powerful to process the data. But how do you store the data? Again, they were doing a lot of research in 1970s. They have identified, they found one more technology called SQL. It is also called as a database management, or also called as a RDBMS management system. Here, IBM company had play very important role to create this technology. So C language can process the data, any language can process the data, but if I wanted to process the data, I have to store the data. For the storing, I don't have any technology. Till 1960s, there is no technology. People were storing the data in the notepad, flat file here and there, but we need to have a dedicated technology. That is when IBM company and other companies from US and given a lot of efforts, and they invented a technology called SQL or RDBMS or database management system. And using this, you can store large amount of data without any issue. This is a concept got created. Based on the concept, these are the softwares got released. Clear? You have a banking is the concept. Lot of companies are there today. You have ICICI Bank, State Bank of India, Deutsche Bank, right? We have a lot of banking, right? We have a blood bank. A lot of blood banks are created today. Chiranjeevi Blood Bank, Care Hospital Blood Bank, Apollo Hospital Blood Bank. So the concept is this, and based on the concept, these many tools have been released into the market. Clear? So later, data warehousing system got implemented. When you have a large amount of data, a normal system got failed. So then immediately people have invented one more technology in 1990s. So data warehousing, the technology was introduced into the IT industry in 19 itself. So to process the data, normally we use the language, but you need to write so much of a coding. People fed up of writing coding and everything. Again, to simplify that, IT industry released a lot of BA tools into the market. That is done in early year 2000. 2000 onwards, we got a lot of BA tools got introduced into the market. So where you need not create any kind of a coding, so no more time, no more budget. So you can create a report or you can process the data within less time, less period, less budget, where you have unlimited data, large amount of data you have. The the coding is completely nullified or zeroed, and without having any coding knowledge, you should be able to create a beautiful reports and you can process the data. That is the beauty about IT industry. Slowly, gradually, they're decreasing the coding experience and coding efforts. Let us understand what are these tools. All these tools are the non-Microsoft tools. They got released into the market, and these are only BA tools, but only reporting till where you can create a report and a lot of visualizations. That's it. You cannot do anything else. What is a visualization? Just now, a simple example I have given starting of the class, right, in Excel. So using SAP BA, SAS BA, OBA, what you can do, we can create the reports. So however you're able to create a visualization using Excel the same way, and these were very, very costly and very, very complex to learn and very, very costly, and there is no other way. People had to use this. But in what Microsoft has done in year 2005, in year 2005, these were the tools released early in 2000, right, into the IT industry. And later in the year 2005, Microsoft Business Intelligence got released, MSBI got released. Inside that, they have given three tools, not one tool, not one software. Three, that is what is called SSIS, SSAS, and SSRS. So the first one is called report. The first one is called ETL tool, extracting the data, transforming the data, loading the data. The second one is called analysis tool, where you're going to be processing the data with the help of what is called, you're going to be creating a cube and everything. You're going to be analyzing the data, processing the data. And later, the last tool is called as a SSRS, where you are going to be creating a lot of reports and visualizations you should be able to create, right? But if you wanted to use these three tools, these are not available. Only reporting tool was available. If you wanted to use ETL tool, then these people have to buy third party tools like Informatica or Data Stage or Ab initio. What is a ETL? You don't understand. What is the purpose of this also? You don't understand. So I'll be talking about what is SSIS, what is ETL, what is SSAS. All these things I'll be talking about in the Monday's class. Clear? Tomorrow we don't have classes. You have to know what is the ETL clearly. In Power BI also, we'll be learning lot of things. Clear? So we have to perform all these things, and Microsoft to say, if you buy SQL Server software, If you buy SQL Server software, I will give you MSBA free. SQL Server is from the Microsoft. This is a RDBMS software. It is a SQL software. It can store the data. So what Microsoft done, if you buy SQL Server, I will give you MSBA free. So if you see the SQL Server history, if you see the SQL Server history, this is how Microsoft, release these two. These are very easy to understand, no coding, or you can say less coding. And the companies have completely started using because of the Microsoft brand. And instead of using SAP, BA, SAS, BA, OBA, Cognos, lot of tools were there. And because of this were inexpensive or free. Sometimes Microsoft say, if you buy SQL Server, I will give you this for free. So because of this, many companies stopped using only these tools, because if you buy, you are able to get reporting, plus you are able to get something else. If you buy a smartphone today, you are able to get camera, you are able to get lot of other things in your smartphone. Why do you want to use old Nokia phones, right? So that is the reason, if you buy one device, it is going to do a lot of other functionalities also. So that is the reason many companies stopped using normal BA only for reporting, SAP BA, SAS BA, OBA, Cognos. But Microsoft BA gave you lot of other tools also for free. And they said it is from Microsoft brand. You can use it, and I will give you for free, or I will give you one third cost of these tools. Because of that, many people stopped using these tools and they are able to use this. Clear? If you see the SQL Server history, I'll take 5 more minutes, and almost, yeah, 9 o'clock, right? I'll take 5 more minutes. We'll stop the demo. And Monday, I'll talk about all these things. And Monday will be the final demo, guys. Same meeting ID, same time you have to connect. So let us talk about SQL Server history. SQL Server is, by Microsoft product, RDBMS product. The version number 1 got released. 1.0 version got released. It is completely RDBMS version got released in 1989. It is a SQL software, or you can say RDBMS software, Relational Database Management System, or DBMS. It can store large amount of data. So the next version is 3.0, then the 5.0, then the 7.0, then SQL Server 2000. It is released in the year of 2000. Clear? It is a purely RDBMS or SQL software. But later what Microsoft has done, that Microsoft has released SQL Server 2005. In which year? In the year of 2005. In that they have, because SQL means it is completely, it can store the data in this only. Microsoft added MSBA. Three tools have been added: SSIS, SSAS, SSRS. So what is the meaning of SSIS? SSIS means SS stands for SQL Server. What is SS means? SQL Server Integration Services. So what is integration? I will tell you in Monday's class clearly. You have to know integration services. This is what is called ETL tool. ETL means extracting the data, transforming the data, loading the data. Every BI application has to use this. Even Power BI has to use this, or Tableau has to use this. Every people has to use. Where exactly they're going to be using, we will understand in the Monday's class. Clear? Every BI application must do the ETL work. So SSIS means it is ETL. The next one is called SSAS, Analysis Services. Okay, what is the analysis? We will be able to understand in the Monday's class. You can create a cube over there, multi-dimensional cubes we have, tabular model cube we have. We are going to be using compulsorily in our IT industry. These cubes are important. We create a lot of ETL operations. We also create a lot of cubes and analyze the data. And we also perform the reporting, SSRS. So we have reporting services where you create lot of reports and everything, visualization, reporting. Clear? So if you see the SQL Server history, this was the thing. So after 2005, a lot of versions got released. 2008, then 2008 release 2. This software got released in 2010. Then the next version 2012, then 2014, then 2016, then 2017, then 2019. Current version is 2022. Clear? If you install SQL Server 2019 or 2022, you will have a SQL Server will be installed. RDBMS is there. We can create a database and store the data. And you have MSBI also will be installed automatically in your computer. Clear? SSIS and SSAS and SSRS also will be installed in your computer. So SQL Server is not a RDBMS software today. But Oracle today, Oracle is even today is a purely RDBMS software, but SQL Server is not a RDBMS software. It is data analytical software, or you can say you can analyze the data, you can perform the ETL operation, you can create the reports, you can store the data. Lot of things you can do. It is a BI software as well as the data storing software. Okay. So that is what you have to understand it now. But definitely technical people have to be there to create. So afterwards, I think in 2010, Tableau BA got released into the market. So what the Tableau BA people said, you need not have technical guys. It is a self-service BA. What is the meaning, Nana? The meaning is no technical knowledge is required. So to create any kind of a report, you need to have the, technical knowledge. Only technical people can create reports. But a Tableau released into the market, they said they will not be able to have the technical knowledge. So any non-IT people, MBA guys, BCom guys, botany, zoology guys, they can create beautiful reports without the technical knowledge. It is a self-service BI. Okay, so it made it very very easy. All the managers, MBA guys, they can create a lot of reports and they can submit these reports to their boss to understand their business. And Microsoft lost their business, right? Because this is the reporting tool they had, and even the SSIS there is no problem, SSAS there is no issue, but this reporting tool is not self-service BA. Non-technical people cannot create reports like a BCom guys, MBA guys, a manager in the company. So wanted to create a report, and the report he wanted to submit to the higher officials, higher officials in the organization. So he has to dependent on the technical guys. If the technical guy is not available, he will not be able to create the reports on his own. So there is a lots of dependency on the technical team. Clear? So to avoid that, many companies started implementing a Tableau BI. It is a non-Microsoft tool. It is released, I think, early 2010 or 29, right? So I don't know the exact name, but this was a story many companies started using to give a competition to the Tableau. So immediately Microsoft released Power BI into the market in 2015. So instead of SSRS, so people were started using a Tableau BI. Tableau BI only can create a report. It cannot perform all these operations. Clear? So instead of using a Tableau BI, Microsoft said we have also one more tool. This tool is also again you can use it from the Microsoft, and it is also called as a self-service BI. No technical knowledge is required, no SQL knowledge is required, nothing is required. You will learn this tool. You should be able to create a beautiful reports. It is similar to your Excel sheet. Power BI is similar to your Excel sheet. I had shown you how to create a visualization. Anybody can create a visualization. Simply you go, you select some data here, and you simply you click on this, you click on this, you can create a Beautiful visualization like this. Now tell me, to create a visualization, are you taking any training? No, nothing. If you see small YouTube video, you should be able to create a beautiful visualizations in the Excel. The same way, you can also use a Power BI. So Power BI is completely self-service BI. No technical knowledge is required. Anybody who wanted to create the reports, they can use this tool, and it is coming from the Microsoft brand. Microsoft always will have a cutthroat system. They will give a very high competition to the competitor. This has one the negative point here. The high cost, the licenses are very very costly. Because of this issue because of this issue these were too much cost to use it, only because of this. Even though Tableau BI is very very good, many companies stopped using Tableau BI. They slowly jumped to Power BI. Power BI is free, or they made it one third cost of the above Tableau BI, right? So Tableau BI was very very costly, even though it has many powerful features and everything. And more than Tableau BI, you have lots of the visualizations are more and more easy. Big brand, it is coming from Microsoft. And many times if you buy SQL Server, I'll give you this for free, or I'll charge only one third cost of this product. Because of that, Tableau BI became the second or the third one, and slowly Power BI went up. And today, many people are going to be using SSIS as it is, SSAS as it is, instead of SSRS, or they may use SSRS, or they may use Power BI as a reporting tool. Clear? They may use both of them, or they may replace this. That is how you have to learn not only Power BI, you have to learn, but also what Nana SQL Server, but also again MS BI ETL is important. If you're working with the Power BI, compulsorily you need to perform ETL operation, analysis operation. Then you can create reports with the Power BI, or you can create the reports with SSRS. Many people have been using, they cannot immediately jump into Power BI, so slowly they may remove. A lot of companies till today they'll ask you, do you know SSRS and Power BI? Do you know SSIS? Do you know SSAS? They'll ask you all these technologies. Clear? So SSIS we are going to be learning later. You have to learn. SSAS I will be giving it for free. And Power BI we are going to be learning. Power BI we are going to be learning. So SSAS only 5 days classes will be there. It will be given for free. You don't need to pay not even single amount. So but this one you need to know, that one you need to practice, not now. So in the month of November, you need to learn. It will be 25 days course. It will be 25 days course. You need to learn. SSAS only 5 days course, that will be given for free to you. Power BI will be 45 hours of course. We are not going to be teaching SSRS, right? We are going to be teaching this one. This is the paid course, and SSAS will be for the free for you. So you should not be worried about it. Clear? So end of the day, all these things you have to know. You have to know about SQL Server. You have to know about data warehousing. Data warehousing also I'll be teaching for free, and it will be some 5 to 7 days classes only. But you have to know it will be given you for free. SQL Server videos you need to buy and practice. SQL Server and Power BI you need to practice now next 2 months. And a third month you have to practice SSIS 25 days. Along with that, data warehousing will be given. You will be able to learn them later. Clear? So when you have the large amount of data, this is how you need to work. But today, the data size is not stopped with terabytes. It is gone beyond that. Okay. Now data size is not terabyte, it is a petabyte of data, zettabyte of data, yottabyte of data, yola-byte of data. So this kind of a data is called as unlimited data, or people calling this as a big data. When you have a big data, so how do you store the data? Data warehousing is going to be failing. BA tools are going to be failing to process this data. So there is one more technology got released into the market to handle this data. This data is called as a Hadoop. This software is called as a Hadoop. It can store big data or unlimited data, where you can store unlimited data of the companies, social media data, YouTube data, this data, that data. You have a large amount of data where a data warehouse cannot process, cannot accommodate, because data warehousing and BI can deal with the terabytes of data, but it is unlimited data. To store the data, we have a system called Hadoop is going to be introduced, and it is one more software from the third party, not from Microsoft. It is not a Microsoft software. Clear? So, because of the Hadoop, today we're able to store the data, we can process the data. Now, these are the systems we have. I will give you a simple example and I'll stop the demo. If you wanted to go to supermarket or vegetable market, how do you go? It will be around 2 kilometers or less than 5-10 kilometers. You can take a bike and go, or you can take a cycle and go. If it is very near, you can go by walk, right? When you have a little distance, you can take the cycle or the bike and go. But I wanted to go to 300 kilometers or 500 kilometers. Can I go by a walk? Or can I go by a cycle or the bike? I wanted to go to 500 kilometers. I wanted to go to Visakhapatnam from Hyderabad. So it is 500 kilometers, 300, 400 miles I need to travel. So I have to change my tool. I have to take either a car or the bus or the train. I have to change the tool. So if the lesser data, Excel is the tool. If you have 300, 400 miles you need to travel, bus or the train is the tool. If you have more and more data, SQL is the tool to store the data. Now from Hyderabad, from India, I wanted to go to Dubai or US. Can I go by a bus? Can I go by a train? Can I go by a car? No, no, no. You have to go by a flight, right? I wanted to go GBs of data. I can use SQL and RDBMS, but I wanted to go, use terabytes of data. I cannot use a train bus. I have to use a flight. Now data warehousing just like a flight for you. When the distance is more, your the tools are changing. You have to use a bike, leave the bike and use the car or the bus or the train. Now you are started using what is called as a data warehousing, just like a flight. I wanted to go to moon or the Mars. Can I use a flight? You have to use the rocket. So now Hadoop is just like a rocket. When the distance is more, when the data is more, you cannot store the data in the data warehousing and BI tools. You have to change the tools to use Hadoop, just like a rocket, right? So what kind of a tools you're using, it depends upon the what kind of a size of the data the company is going to be giving it to you. Bill Gates has a large amount of money, does not mean that he will come to the office by rocket. No, people will laugh at you, right? He will come by a car. So you cannot say that bigger companies will use Hadoop. It is not bigger company, smaller company. Bigger company also may use Excel. Bigger company also may use what kind of a data set they have at that time they will be using. For some kind of a data, they may use Excel. For the some kind of a data, they use this. For the some kind of a data, they use, and the some kind of a data they are going to be using. Clear? It is not that bigger companies will use Hadoop, smaller companies will use this. It is not bigger company, smaller company. It is a size of the data. So Amazon company wanted to analyze only the sales of India. It may be terabytes of data. Why they wanted to use only Hadoop? They may use this. Clear? If you wanted to analyze the data, or if you wanted to perform the data analytics or data science application, if you wanted to use, you have to store the data somewhere. So you may use Excel, or you may use SQL, or you may use data warehouse, or you may use Hadoop to store the data. Once you store the data, on top of that, you run SQL, you run data analytics or the data science applications. Clear? Data analytics means you run Power BI or Tableau BI application. These are called data analytical applications. Clear? So business intelligence means data analytics. So understanding the past. Clear? So you need to have the first store the data. You may have the data in the data warehouse or in the Hadoop, or in the SQL or in the Excel. So if you store the data, then only we can perform data analytics or the data science, can run on this. To store the data, we have these many things. So tomorrow we don't have any class. Monday I'll be having the final demo. In that I'll be talking about what is SSIS, what is SSIS, what is the Power BI or the SSRS, and I will also talk about what is a data warehousing in depth. Clear, guys? And hope you have enjoyed this demo. And Monday we'll be reconnecting with the same meeting ID, same time. If you have any questions, you should be able to ask me now. Am I clear? So thank you guys. Anybody joined new today, they have to fill the form. The form I think I have given in the chat window. So this is the form you need to fill. I'm giving in the chat window, guys. Already filled it means, ignore it. So people who are new, you need to fill this form and it will have your email ID and other details, nothing else. Clear? So you can get into IT industry with these course. You will be learning SQL Server, data warehousing, Power BI, SSIS, and everything will be learning. And it is easily you can get into IT industry, but all these technologies. And I'm going to be giving you very, very basic knowledge to advanced knowledge. Any non-IT people also can understand very, very easily. Hope you understood the part number 2 demo. And tomorrow is holiday for us. Monday we'll be meeting and we'll be finalizing the demo. And after that, I'll show you how to install Power BI, how to install SQL Server in your laptop, right? You need to have Windows 10, Windows 11 in your laptop. So you organize them, you get it ready. If not, at least take 1 week time and buy one laptop. So 35,000 rupees with the 4 GB of RAM, any processor, 256 GB hard disk, but don't buy Celeron processors. Clear, guys? So this is what is the demo number 2, right? So tomorrow no class. We'll be continuing the demo number 3. Hope you have enjoyed. Thank you, guys. And if you have your friends, ask them to contact us so that they can also get into IT industry because of AI. Because of AI, smaller wage jobs are getting automated. Remember, okay? The report predicts that AI will replace the jobs that involve automation and repetitive tasks. Low wage workers are expected to be more affected than the higher earners. Remember, okay? So it will 8 crores jobs are going to be 80 million jobs. 8 crores means 80 million jobs are going to be affected. But at, 10, 100 million jobs, 10 crore jobs are going to be created because of AI. But definitely you need to upscale, you need to rescale, or you need to unlearn a lot of things and learn new technologies so that you will have new opportunities because of AI. You will be there in the IT industry, not in the operations, not in the sales, not in the, small jobs, BPO centers, because all these repetitive activities will get replaced with the AI. AI will create a new jobs. You will learn this kind of a technology so that you don't worry about the your jobs, because slowly the automation is going to come. Another 2 to 3 years, you will also lose your job if you're working as a salesman, or if working as any kind of a work that is you are doing repeatedly. For example, loans disbursement, sales manager, operational manager, you're a recruiter in the company, right? All these things will get automated. BPO sectors will completely closed by next 3 to 4 years. So you have to back office, jobs, data entry jobs, all of them will get replaced by the AI applications. You have to learn this kind of a technologies. It will create a lot of jobs. 8 crore jobs you lose and 10 crore jobs are getting created. For that, you need to have new technologies and new skills. You get them ready in your basket in your life today so that you don't hit the crisis. I'm telling you, right? So AI is going to be occupying a lot of repetitive activities. Make sure that you get into this kind of a technologies today itself so that you should not hit those crises when it comes. Clear? Thank you, guys.